Black Orpheus by Marcel Camus, as well as Carmen Jones, directed by Otto Preminger, both use elements of music and romance sprinkled with a little tragedy to tell their stories. Both films were made in the same era with striking similarities of small journeys, unmatched lovers, and death. Black Orpheus, 1959, is the adaptation of the Greek legend of Orpheus and Eurydice. Based in Brazil during Carnival, the two lovers fall for each other immediately. And you know what happens when you fall in love? You die. No. I'm just kidding. Well, actually, yes. Due to a series of events, Eurydice eventually dies in Orpheus' arms. Now, Carmen Jones, 1954, is the American movie musical adaptation of the stage opera Carmen. During World War II, the film revolves around Carmen, a woman that can get any man if she puts her mind to it, and Joe, a young army officer, engaged and set on his goals. Carmen seduces Joe and causes him to go AWOL and run away with her, but Carmen, a constant flirt, falls for a prize-winning wrestler, leaving Joe in a mess. Joe declares that if he can't have her, no one can, and he strangles her to death. So, what have we learned about falling in love? Don't do it. These two films go hand in hand with their similarities, as well as stand alone as an individual with their differences. For example, a difference in characterization of our two ladies. Eurydice is a very innocent, wearing light colors and is very soft-spoken, and Carmen is very rambunctious. She wears bold, bright colors. She says what's on her mind, as well as racking in any man she wants. And it plays into my mindset that Orfeo and Eurydice's love was more genuine than Carmen and Joe's, even though the stories were both set up in the same way. The two films are very similar with their use of music to evoke emotions. In Black Orpheus, we have the continuing sounds of Carnival in the background that transports us to Brazil, and Carmen Jones, which is a literal opera with music in every scene to reiterate how a character feels. It seems as if Camus, as well as Perminger's use of mise-en-scène in both of their films differentiates as well as equates both of their films together. Camus often uses camera angles that place the viewer into the world of Brazil during Carnival by filming chaotic sequences of a carnival party, and Perminger's direction through music gives more meaning to the words being said and makes movement more concise. But both of their use of mise-en-scène using lively colors, especially in clothing, settings and lighting and etc., reel in the audience and brings a more imaginary feel to the stories. Whether it be a nightclub or a carnival festival, the aesthetics cater to our eyes and put us, the viewers, submerged more into the story and make us pay attention. Another topic I want to touch is examining the impacts of having European writers and directors write and direct movies based solely on people of color. With the directors already being of a different race, it doesn't add that they are working outside of their home countries. Camus working in Brazil, he's French, and Perminger working in the US, he's German. The question arises if the people of color were portrayed correctly and given character justice despite the ways of the time frame it was made in. Or was it just an act of how people of color were portrayed to them? In an article titled Robert Stam and Louise Spence, Colonialism, Racism, and Representation, an Introduction, it states, the complementary preoccupation to the search for positive images, the exposure of negative images or stereotypes entails similar methodological problems. The positing and recognition of these stereotypes has been immensely useful, enabling us to detect structural patterns of prejudice in what had formerly seemed random phenomena. Reading that article made me think about the tastefulness of both of these films and how they would be taken if they were released today. Black Orpheus seems tasteful, not really portraying Brazilians to be vulgar or gaudy, but Carmen Jones plays just a bit into these stereotypical attributes of people of color in the U.S. at the time. In the article I read, there was a line that stated, the critic reduces a complex diversity of portrayals to a limited set of reified stereotypes. Behind every sexually attractive black actor, a buck, and behind every attractive black actress, a whore. We cannot pretend that Carmen Jones doesn't fall into this category, and I believe that it has some to do with the director and the writer's process to produce characteristics that they don't understand. Nevertheless, it's no doubt that Black Orpheus and Carmen Jones all helped define a time in popular artistic film. The stories that are being told through these beautiful characters in such beautiful settings, and the choices that were made in the making of this movie, combined with the mise en scène, it gives a clear glimpse into the pioneers of artistic filmmaking.